The Convicted Felon's Guide to Become an Entrepreneur. This is Montana White with a new series called How to Start a Business from the Streets. You know, like the how to do things for dummies. But I'm making this for my people. You know, my people that might have got caught up in the system growing up. My people that might have dropped out of school. My people that might be running around this planet with a criminal record that's keeping them out of apartments, keeping them out of good paying jobs, keeping them out the situation where when you go to prison, they say you paying back your debt to society or you're being rehabilitated. But when you get out, what they don't tell you is that now you have a criminal record. Now you're subject to background checks. Now you might not be able to live where you want to live or work where you want to work. So I created this series to help my people, help my brothers, you know what I'm saying, to try to make it to the top, because I'm doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So let's start off by me saying, you know, to my people, as convicted felons, we have many strikes against us in society. And once released from prison with a criminal background record or on parole or probation, it's kind of hard to get a job or move into the kind of place you want to live in if you're renting because of background checks, right? Now, during the course of your incarceration, you've been given many classes. You've been given jobs to work while you're incarcerated. And this is known as the slave labor force for the industrial prison system, because the prison system is a business. But while you in there, you taking these classes and you getting these certificates and you learning these trades, it's like you doing them on another planet. You feel me? Because when you come out of prison, there's really no system or no clear direction on how to apply these things, because a lot of us go into the system young. You know what I'm saying? 20 years old. And you get out when you're 30 or, you know, God forbid, even older, right? So once you come home, you don't have that tenacity you had as a kid to get out there, jump in the middle of the street and try anything to get some money, because you really do know the consequences, and going back to prison is not an option. So once you find yourself on the streets looking for direction or looking for a hookup or a gig or something, you start running into the legal world. And the legal world is different from the streets. The legal world has checks and balances. The legal world has commitments. You can't just do what you want to do, go where you want to go, or act like you want to act. You can't just smoke weed, or you can't just be drunk and the next day be late for work. You know? Those are for citizens. But with a convicted felony on your record, it's even harder. So now once you go in, not only do you have to be a stand-up citizen, you have to prove to these people that this felony that's on your record won't lead to them, you know, having a risky employee in their presence, right? So you got a few options. You can take it to the streets. You can shoot dice. You can sell weed. You can do what the fuck you want to do. But what you really got to do is get on the right track. And for most of my people, man, that went in the system or went in for hustling or something, the one thing we did do is learn the simple form of business. The business of transactions. The business of buying low and selling high. The business of meeting a demand, or the business of coming through in a drought, right? So we've learned certain tactics to stay on our feet, right? So now, from this point of view, I want us to take it to the next level. Now we got to get legal. You know what I'm saying? And you know that comes in steps, that comes in phases. Because a lot of us, when we come out of prison, we don't have a driver's license. So now we have to get all our paperwork together, birth certificate, social security card. And we got to go out and we got to get legal forms of ID. so we can move around the streets. Now, this goes for people who don't have a probation officer or parole officer that's giving them orders or telling them what to do or having them checking in. This is just you. You out here now. You got a felony on your record and you need to get to business because you're grown. And the place you're staying at, you might be staying with somebody else. You might be in a shelter. The fact is you're not where you want to be. So now you got to get where you want to get. You know what I'm saying? So with these instructional videos, from my know-how, the steps I took, some of the books I've read, the methods I've used, I want to get my people on track. So how to start a business from the street series is just that. And we're going to jump it off first with the Convicted Fellas Guide to Become an Entrepreneur. That's right, man. So we're going to go through 10 steps, 10 simple steps, right? To just get started, because you have to know the basic language to become an entrepreneur legally. Now, you could be a hustler, right? You get your money, you do your thing. But that's not going to report to the bureaus, the credit bureaus, the business credit bureaus. We'll get to the name of them later, you know what I'm saying? Because there are an intricate part in becoming a legal entity, a legal business. And then there's a lot of, hocus pocus. It's a lot of people out here claiming they can train you to do this and do that, right? But you don't have the basic structure down to get it done. So before you jump off into paying somebody for a lecture or joining some pyramid scam, let's just get to the simple idea of setting up a business, man. Becoming a business, right? Now, you out here, you see a lick. Hey, man, I could do that. It might be printing T-shirts. It might be selling books. It might be, cooking food, right? But you're doing it yourself, right? So you got to identify what kind of business you want to be in. If it's T-shirts, you need to find a wholesaler so you can buy T-shirts low. Then you need to get something printed on them. So then you got to do, get a graphic designer, find a printing company. You got to do your due diligence to create that business. You feel me? So once you identify the business idea, you determine at this point, right, where you standing at. How likely can you start it with what you got right now, right? So once you determine that, you find ways to get it done if you can't get it done with what you got, right? So this is where the business plan comes in at, right? I got an idea for a business. I'm going to start a T-shirt company. But first, I need to get my basics covered, right? And this is without even going down to the Secretary of State or Legal Zoom or incorporating. We're not even incorporating right now. We just digging for information, right? So we gonna identify the business, say T-shirts. Next, I'm gonna come up with a name for the T-shirts, right? Let's call them Montana Tees, just hypothetically. Once I come up with a name that I think that is hot and I can get out in the market and start pushing these T-shirts, before I get too excited, I need to do a Google search. So I'm gonna go on Google and I'm gonna look up Montana Tees to see if it's another company with that name. If it is, then I might have to look for another name. You always gotta have a couple names in mind just in case somebody already got your idea, because energy, good ideas, they all in the air. It just it takes somebody to implement it. Now, once you find a name, right, that nobody has, I suggest you go to GoDaddy.com, right, and you look it up. Make sure nobody had the .com, MontanaTees.com, right? Now, if that's available, you'll probably spend about $7 to $11, or you can catch it maybe on sale, first time buyer for 99 cents. Bang! By Montana Tees. .com. Okay? Now, this is your solid business name. This is your platform. This is how people are going to get what you're selling. I don't care if you're cutting grass. You buy the domain name, right? Now, let's go to social media. The big dogs. We ain't going to try to list all of them. But let's say Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, right? Go on there and search for your name. If someone has your name, you might have to do a variation. Add a 1. Put the, add 100 behind it. Anything. But you want to stay as close to your .com name as you possibly can. Or before you even search for the .com, you can do a social media search. Now you go to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you make sure the name is clear. Because you want to keep your name connected to your brand. So you want all of your signage, all of your logos and everything to lead back to your .com. So you don't want to have 2 or 3 names out in the social media space. You want to have one name straight through. Once you get your name in all the social media slots, right, and you got your .com, now it's time to think about a logo or something, right? Now it's time to start putting this together because you're going to have to market it. And social media, because we doing this from scratch and we still haven't legally registered the business. We just got the idea and the name. Now you want to put a logo with it, right? So you come up with a logo. You might go on Fiverr. You might know the homeboy. You know somebody who make logos because you on Instagram. This how you finding out about it, right? So you get your logo together and you come up with a little script in the bio about your business or a little tagline. You know what I'm saying? We make it hot. You feel me? To try to separate yourself from other like businesses. Right? Now you got the website name, you got your social media names. Now you can build your profile. Right? So now you go to Google, you search for other websites to link to. You might want to do a music page, to help promote your goods. So you go to Spotify. You might make videos. So you go to YouTube. You put your name on those channels because these channels are going to help you market your business, right? Now, once you got the face of it done, this is all the makeup. This is what makes you good out in the space, right? So you got your name, you got your logo, you got your social media platforms together, and you got your website, your .com together. Now you ready to push. Now you ATL Mix Show. You feel me? But you aren't legally a business yet because you can't get a bank account with just a website name and social media names. No. To get a business account, you have to create a legal business structure. And that's what we're going to talk about next. See, because now you got the face of it. Like I say, the makeup is on the face. And you can put it out there to see if people connect to it. If they connect to it, you'll see them following it on social media. You've found your niche, like the Black Golf Club. Now you have traffic. You're communicating with fans, potential customers, or like-minded individuals. So now you're using social media as it was meant to be used. To connect the idea, to connect the business, to connect the brand, to connect the service. Now once you've done these things, now it's time to get serious about becoming a business. And that's going to be in our next video. How to start a business from the streets. This is Montana White with the official Convicted Felons Guide to Become an Entrepreneur video series. Hey, yo, man, y'all follow me, Montana White 100, and follow my promotion page, ATL Mix Show. We market and book artists for events, We do radio placement, and we set up interviews and create content in the entertainment space. Go ahead, go to atlmixshow.com and ATL Mix Show on everything else. It's Montana White once again, the first video of the series. I'm out.